Seeing people as they are can be difficult. A profile of two men and their journey in the next segment. The governmental and religious institutions of South Africa have accomplished much toward the goal of reconciliation. Clearly, though, Parliament cannot legislate tolerance, and churches can only encourage cooperation. In the end, reconciliation must occur on an individual level. The new South Africa will be built one relationship at a time. Sometimes churches act as a conduit for building these new relationships, often between unlikely partners. Reverend SPiwo Xapile appealed to Professor Jan du Toit from Stellenbosch University on behalf of a member of his Gugulethu congregation.
I met Jan through a problem of the university's language policy, where a postgraduate student was experiencing problems with the use of Afrikaans. He appealed to me to take this up with the university.
One morning I got a telephone call from a minister from Gugulethu saying to me that Mvuzo, that's the guy's name, is with him, and he has got serious problems at our university because he does not understand one word that's going on because the tuition language was Afrikaans, not English, as he was told, and he's not coming back to the university. And then he asked me to, and what are you going to do about that?
Stellenbosch is the heart of white Afrikaner society, and Afrikaans is the official language of the university. Afrikaners see South Africa as their homeland. Some families have lived here for more than 300 years. After wresting control from British colonial rule, it was here in Stellenbosch that the doctrine of apartheid was created.
Somebody once said, something that has been talked about at Stellenbosch usually becomes law after 2 to 3 years. The whole policy that they tried to implement in apartheid, which proved itself after 40 years to be disastrous, was based on developing a super race by isolating them from the blacks. The School of Theology justified the apartheid system from the Bible, and that was taught out at the School of Theology at Stellenbosch.
Despite the surroundings of prejudice and intolerance, Professor du Toit reached out to his first black student. Although he could not change the university's language policy, the Afrikaner professor from Stellenbosch and the minister from Gugulethu had started on a journey that would change their lives.
And that's how we met. And we addressed the problem, and we've been working together because I happened to meet a guy who was quite sympathetic to the plight of black people in this country and who was prepared to do something.
He invited me to come and see Gugulethu, as he usually does with people. He met me on just off the main road and escorted me into his place. And that is how I actually first saw that area of the Reformed Presbyterian Church. And I must say I was quite devastated by what I saw.
The new partners raised funding for a community center at the Gugulethu Church. Since 60% of the congregation was unemployed, job training was a priority. So were the children.
We were confronted with a problem. Most children now go to multiracial schools, and we observed that there were children that would go to these schools and be in the schools for a month or two, and after that they are back into the township. They don't want to go to schools in Gugulethu. They don't want to go to schools in the white suburbs. We asked questions as to why, and we found out that they were frustrated because there was nobody at home to help them with homeworks.
Okay, this one we're not gonna do a number problem, we're gonna give you a math problem. So you got your pencil?
We started the after-school study program as a backup system to make sure that someone is there for them to assist them. And it has been working very well.
Americans Johnny Cruz and Aaron McLeish came to Gugulethu at their own expense to volunteer as tutors in the church's after-school program.
We have ranging from 40 to 60 kids every day, Monday through Friday. They all go to different schools. They're all different ability levels, so that makes it quite challenging. But the most rewarding thing, I think, is the fact that they do come here for 2.5 hours after school every day. They usually come from regular classes of over 60. So to come and get a little bit more one-on-one attention is quite appealing to them, I think.
Soon, the new partnership developed into friendship and into more projects. The next challenge was more difficult, far from their homes in Cape Town. Reverend Xapile returned home to the Transkei. The once lush land he knew as a boy was now completely deforested. Its people, like the land, were the victims of misuse and neglect. The goal was to build a community center in the small village of Malungeni, where Reverend Xapile was born. It would be a place to teach skills that would allow the people to survive, avoiding the exodus to the cities, which offer little hope of a better life.
With the new government and with people losing jobs, with mines closing, people don't have jobs. And we felt instead of having people going to these areas, they should really do something to appreciate the land they have. Learn to grow their own food and to survive in this area, because life is very tough in the cities.
Corporations in Cape Town had helped them train potential workers from Gugulethu. But would they assist the villagers almost 1,000 miles away in the Transkei?
I must just say, the combination of the two of us has worked for us. There are many times that we go to people that I know they hate me, being a white person. But SPiwo is with me, so they can't say no. There are many times when we go to people that I know they don't like him at all, but I'm there, and they've got no choices to help us.
Corporate donors responded to the need. Within 2 weeks, a blueprint and funding were in hand to make the center a reality.
I think the wonderful thing about the center here in Malungeni is that it was built by the people of this village. And we had thought that if we can use the people in the community, and they won't be paid, but we can train them while they are working, and eventually leave somebody behind with skills. That this place was finished in 1995. And all of a sudden, the community who's been lying with all the wonderful land they have and all the opportunities and never doing anything, all of a sudden woke up. And they started initiating projects. And this center has really become a hope for the people, and something which they are very proud of.
The center in Malungeni was recognized by President Mandela as a model for rural redevelopment. But it also symbolizes what can be achieved when people work together for the common good. The benefits reach far beyond the brick and mortar of a community center. Bonds of friendship are replacing years of animosity and distrust.
We do things together. And it has become very clear to me that I need him and he needs me. And I really think in this country we need one another. Jan has skills and the know-how of things that I've not been exposed to. And he sometimes, needs my experience of life in these areas. And both those, complement one another and make the sort of progress that we have made in addressing the problems that we are sitting with. It is very important for people to learn to accept one another for who we are. To learn to open your arms to people you don't know, people that you've never really thought you would ever work with or learn to love and learn to respect. I think that is crucial. I must say we are friends. He understands me very well. I understand him very well. And the commitment and the heart he has, for addressing problems that other people would not even want to come closer to, is to me, very encouraging. There are people like him in South Africa. And every day we meet people really prepared to do something. Reality is that most people don't know the extent of the problem. And they've not been exposed to the real problems in the country. There are many people who, once they see what is happening, really commit themselves. We have a commitment to one another. We are brothers. And this is what this country needs, a stronger sense of belonging amongst Christians, which would affect people who do not believe. By looking at what we do and how we do things, saying indeed, these are God's children.